Hello, and welcome to your Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me this Saturday morning. I am Dr. Monique, and you are listening to Fix Your Plate with Dr. Monique. I'm so glad to be here with you. You guys already know who I am, but in case you're listening for the first time, I am Dr. Monique, also known as the physician in the kitchen. I am a best-selling author, blogger, social media influencer, family medicine physician, mom, daughter, you name it. I'm doing all the things all the time. And I'm on here to talk to you about fixing your plate. I'm promoting my new best-selling book, Doc Fix My Plate, The Physician in the Kitchen's Prescriptions for Your Healthy Meal Makeover. And we'll talk a little bit more about how you can get your hands on an autographed copy. But today we are going to talk about vitamins and minerals from A to Z. And this is going to be part one because we're probably going to run out of time because there's a lot to get to with this content because a lot of people have questions, a lot of questions about what vitamins they need. Do they need to take supplements? And that's kind of the big one, right? Like we're going to get into the numbers behind the vitamin and supplement industry. It is mind blowing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. As always, we are interested in what you have to say and what your questions you have. So please be sure to drop a comment or question on all social media at Physician in the Kitchen. If you send us a question that I end up reading and answering on air, you'll get a free autographed copy of my aforementioned best-selling book. So if you have a question about vegan food in general, or health and wellness, please drop us a line. You can email at info@drmoniquemay.com. Or, as I said, you can slide in that DM on social media at Physician in the Kitchen. So it is fall, guys and gals. Can you believe it? I'm not even going to do the countdown to Christmas. I don't know. I don't want to know. But it will be here before you know it. But that crisp is in the air, right? The temperatures are starting to drop. Leaves are changing color. And I'm a native New Yorker, so I love all seasons. I can't imagine living someplace where it's sunny and 85 degrees every day. I think that would drive me just a little batty. So I like the seasons. I like winter, when I get to break out the chunky sweaters and the boots, and then the summer comes and you wear your cute little summer outfits and go to the beach and all that. But I like fall too. And so, I love the chill, the crisp in the air, the different vegetables and fruits that are in season, all of it. I'm here for all of it. So I hope wherever you are listening from that you're starting to get a little bit of that touch of fall and getting ready for this year to wrap up. It's coming at you whether you're ready or not, but might as well make the best of it. So as I mentioned, today we're going to talk about, you'll have plenty of time to get your questions answered. So please, please, please drop a line, info@drmoniquemay.com or in my inbox at Physician in the Kitchen on social media. So first of all, we're going to talk about vitamins. So what is a vitamin? So I think people have a general idea, but a vitamin is basically a micronutrient, so a small amount of something that is important for your body to function the way it should. But the reason that they're essential or that they're considered so important is that we can't make them. So our bodies cannot make these vitamins, these minerals, these micronutrients. We have to get them from our food sources, ideally. Key thing, though, is about these micronutrients. We only need small amounts. So for those of you, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. For those of you who do take supplements, please just follow the directions on the bottle. If it says take 1 or 2 capsules, take 1 or 2 capsules. Taking 10 capsules is not good and actually can be harmful. And we'll get into that a little later as well. So when we look at what's considered essential nutrients, we look at vitamins, we look at minerals, essential fatty acids, and essential amino acids. For the purposes of this talk, though, we're going to be talking strictly about vitamins and minerals. So vitamins are broken down into whether they're fat soluble or water soluble. And the reason becomes important is because you can actually kind of overdose on the ones that are fat soluble versus the ones that are water soluble. So the fat soluble ones mean they actually dissolve in fat and they're kind of absorbed and transported through your body the way fat is, versus the ones that are water soluble. So the named vitamins are vitamins A, and then you have the family of B vitamins, and there's about 6 or 7 in that B vitamin group. Vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Those are the main ones. Those are the ones that we know have a variety of health benefits. That B group, the vitamin B group, includes things like riboflavin, niacin, folic acid, biotin, and we'll talk more about what those all do. So, but then when we look at the breakdown of fat soluble versus water soluble, the fat soluble ones are A, D, E, and K. So vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. So those in excess can actually be harmful. And we'll talk about that a little later. So what do these do? What do these vitamins do? So vitamin A, or beta carotene, as you may know it as well, it's very important in things like cell and tissue growth. So think hair, skin. It impacts your immune system. And you're going to find this in yellow and orange foods, as well as dark leafy greens. I'm going to always kind of try to tie it back to how your plate can deliver these things that you need. How, fixing your plate, preparing it correctly, as well as making any additions or changes to it, right? To get the best nutrition you can, that is available and affordable or accessible to you. So you want vitamin A, make sure you're getting these beautiful yellow and orange peppers and mangoes and oranges and papaya. All of these are going to be great sources for vitamin A. So now the B vitamins, right? We talked a little bit about the B vitamins. It's a large group of vitamins. And as a class, generally, they help with cell growth. They also help with nerve function. They help with developing cells, particularly like when a woman is pregnant. We always recommend she gets her folic acid, vitamin B9, because there's a lot of cell turnover, right? When you're growing a human, there's a lot of cells dividing and replicating and multiplying. And folic helps all those cells develop the way they're supposed to. So that's why it's really important during pregnancy. Biotin is important for hair and nail growth. Riboflavin, niacin, again, these are all important in synthesis, helps your body build things. It helps with nerve function. And you want to be sure you have a good source of those. Again, dark leafy greens are going to be a very big source for your B vitamins. So we're going to take a commercial break and come back on the other side and finish this list about vitamins and start to get a little bit into the minerals and what those are and why you need them. And then we'll wrap up for the week and get ready for part 2. So see you on the other side of this commercial.
If you want to educate, empower, and inspire our community, we're providing a wonderful opportunity for anyone who feels they can make a positive impact in the lives of others by applying to be an on-air radio personality. To set up an interview, call 877-342-7770. That's 877-342-7770 to apply. This is your chance to step out on faith. This is your chance to get the experience and education that you need in order to launch to the next level of greatness and make a significant difference. WDRB Media is now hiring on-air radio personalities. If this is you, no experience is required, no previous education needed. They do all the training. Call 877-342-7770 to set up your interview today.
Hi there and welcome back. Thank you so much. You are listening to Fix Your Plate with Dr. Monique. And if you're just joining us, we are talking about vitamins and minerals from A to Z, part 1. So we just finished talking about, before the break, we were talking about the B vitamins and the role that they play. And I wanted to just mention as far as where you tend to find B vitamins, of course, leafy green vegetables, but also if you are vegan, you can get them in legumes like your beans, your edamame. Those are going to be rich in that. For those of you who are and also nutritional yeast. That's another big source, particularly B12 can be found in nutritional yeast. So that could be a source for vegetarians or vegans who are concerned about becoming vitamin B12 deficient. The good thing about vitamin B12, it's kind of the unique one out of all of the B vitamins in that your body actually can store amounts of vitamin B12 for quite some time. If you've ever eaten meat, in your life, and you have a normal functioning digestive tract, then the risk of you being B12 deficient is probably a lot lower than people who have never ever eaten um, meat or who have certain conditions that can affect them from absorbing B12. It's also found in things like dairy and salmon. So that's for the B vitamins. So we are going to go ahead now and go next into vitamin C, which a lot of you know is ascorbic acid. People tend to always remember, um, vitamin C is found in citrus fruits, but you can also get it in bell peppers. Actually, bell peppers have more vitamin C than does citrus fruits, which I thought was really interesting. And along with vitamin E, vitamin C is an antioxidant. This is something else you've heard me talk about often on this show, which is antioxidants and the role that they play as far as helping to repair changes and damage that our body sustains on a daily basis just from the activity of living, ultraviolet light from the sun, pollution, smoke, radiation. So antioxidants help to try to repair the damage that those agents can do, which increase the risk for chronic disease such as cancer and heart disease, diabetes, obesity, those types of things. So next we get to the another one of the fat soluble vitamins, which is vitamin D, which is everyone knows that is a sunshine vitamin, right? Get vitamin D through a process in your skin that's exposed to sunlight, but it's also found in fish, eggs, fortified milk, things like that. Vitamin D, as we know, helps to strengthen your bones, right? And vitamin C, I neglected to mention, in addition to being an antioxidant, it helps to fortify your immune system as well. So, and it also helps with iron absorption. So, for people who are deficient in iron, we always recommend drink some orange juice with those orange pills that you're taking, those iron pills, excuse me. So, we're down now to vitamin E. So, vitamin E is another one of the fat soluble ones. And remember, that's just how it's transported and stored in the body. And this one is a great one for vegans, right? Or vegetarians, because the natural sources include vegetable oils, seeds, nuts, and whole grains. So if you're getting those every day, your vitamin E is good. You're good on that. Vitamin E plays a role in blood regulation, as well as it being an antioxidant. So vitamin E is one of those nutrients that's in addition to its role in blood health and formation, it also plays a role in your brain health, skin health, and vision and reproduction cells as well. So we're going to now come down to vitamin K, right? So vitamin K. So this is one that's if this, particularly if you're on leafy green, if you're on a blood thinner, your doctors probably talk to you about your intake of leafy green vegetables because there can be an interaction. We're going to talk a little bit more about interactions with vitamins and supplements, and that's the concern that I have with people using these types of things because they think, oh, they're over the counter, they must be okay, or it's natural, so it must be okay. Have to really, really, really be careful with that because just because something is labeled natural, and this is another thing we talked about a few weeks ago, you have to go back and catch that. Just because something is labeled natural doesn't necessarily mean that it is healthy and good for you. And when you're on medications, there can actually be interactions. So I do just, want folks to be aware of that. So, but vitamin K is again one of those fat soluble vitamins, and it's found in green leafy vegetables, like cabbage, spinach, cauliflower, and it's also found in meat, fish, things like that. There's a small percentage that can be made by the gut, the bacteria in the gut, but for the most part, it is something that we get in our diet. And its role has to do, it plays a big part in how our blood clots. So when you take a certain medicine that prevents clotting, if they withdraw on a blood thinner, your doctor wants you to take a blood thinner. There are medicines that can interact with that vitamin K, those dark leafy greens. So that's a conversation you would definitely have with your doctor. So those are the vitamins, right? So we talked about A, the B family, vitamin C, D, E, and K. All right. So now we're going to get into the minerals, right? Because those two kind of tend to go together. You hear vitamins, you hear minerals. So minerals are also, that little group of that group of micronutrients that they're small quantity, but they're very important in how our body functions. And in a variety of ways, from nerve function to muscle contraction to heart function to volume and blood pressure regulation. These minerals pack a mighty punch. Okay. And so we have, they're broken down into the major elements and then the trace elements. So the major elements are things like calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and phosphorus, right? So most people have kind of heard of at least a couple of those, right? I think I see you shaking your head. Calcium, everybody knows about calcium. Calcium is important, of course, for healthy bones and teeth. Also helps with your blood circulation, your blood vessel health. Magnesium, another one that works with bone as well as cell growth. And it has a role in nervous and muscle cell function and can help regulate GI function, the passage of your stools, your regularity. Think about it, if you've ever taken milk of magnesia, right, for an upset stomach or constipation, that's why. So potassium is really important. It works with your nerve signals, right? So your heart function. If you have too high of a level of potassium, it can be bad for your heart. If you have too low of a level of potassium, it can be bad for your heart. So muscles in general, and the heart is a muscle, they like potassium, and also nerve function as well. So sodium, or salt, as it's commonly known, again, noticing a trend here, right? A theme: nerve and muscle function, as well as blood pressure regulation, fluid balance, kidney function, all of that. And lastly, phosphorus plays a role for kidney health, bone, muscle, and blood vessel. So that's a lot, right? That's kind of, those are the five major, but we're not done. We're not done. We've got the trace elements. So that means these are needed in even lower amounts, but they still are very important. And that's going to include your iron, right? We know about iron, it helps us not be anemic. Chlorine, cobalt, copper, zinc, manganese, iodine, and selenium. These all play, again, roles in immunity, bone health, nervous tissue, including the brain, you name it, from head to toe. So that's kind of the overlay of, or the big picture of, vitamins and minerals from A to Z. But I want to spend the next few minutes talking about supplements, because I've just gone through a laundry list of these things that are good for you, right? But I've also given you some food sources that a lot of these are found in. And that's what we talk about on this show, right? Is how you can fix your plate. And if you're eating a healthy, well-balanced diet, guess what? You typically should not even need supplements. So we're going to get into why supplements are kind of the rage, and is it true that no one needs them, or are there certain populations or groups of people who do need supplements? So I found these statistics that I wanted to share with you. So some of these are from Harvard Medical School. Some of them are from Penn School of Medicine. But this is just mind blowing. So we're going to look at the dietary supplement usage, some statistics, okay? And this is in the United States. Supplements make, as of 2021, supplements make $30 billion with a B dollars per year. There's about 90,000 different products, and they generate $30 billion. Okay. And they're popular, but they're popular despite that there's actually limited proof that they actually provide real health benefits. Now, there's a placebo effect, right? If I gave you a pill right now and said, this is going to make you feel better, there's probably about a 25, maybe even 50% chance that you're going to feel better because I planted that seed. That's what we call the placebo effect. I could give you a sugar pill, right? Tell you this is going to make you feel wonderful. You're going to be able to get up and go and have so much energy and so forth. Just for me telling you that, there's a significant percentage of the time that that's going to actually happen. Some of the common supplements, and we're going to wrap up here in a few minutes, but I do want to run through the list of common supplements that people tend to use. So vitamin B12. And this one, when I was in practice, this one would get me. This one is just because, as we mentioned, vitamin B12 helps with nerve function, helps your blood cells be healthy, can help you prevent a certain type of anemia. And people would come in. This is one of the ones I think has one of the largest placebo effects, I believe, because people, the patients think, oh, I'm tired, I must need vitamin B12. That's one of their go-tos for fatigue. But the fortunate thing about vitamin B12 is that we actually can test your blood level for it. Some of these don't necessarily have a corresponding test. Vitamin B12, we actually can test. So if I test the patient's B12 level and it's normal, why would I give them more B12? Why would I give them a shot? But that shot, the placebo effect that some people get with that shot is, you can't argue with that. I come in, my doctor gives me vitamin B12, I feel better. Whether they need it or not, that's another conversation for another day. So another supplement that is commonly used is folic acid, like we mentioned earlier, particularly for pregnant women, because it can help reduce birth defects like spina bifida, which is basically an incompletely formed spinal column, particularly in the lower part of the spinal column is a birth defect that we know can be prevented by using folic acid in pregnancy. You can also take vitamin D and calcium supplements to help with your bones, particularly in women who are at risk for osteoporosis, right? So as you go through menopause, women can lose the protective effect of hormones, and then our bones are at risk for thinning, which can lead to hip fractures and other fractures, which can lead to a whole host of problems, including loss of independence, complications leading up to and including death. So definitely want to shore up those bones. Vitamins C and E also are commonly used, which can help prevent cell damage. And then some other ones like fish oil, which is for heart health. Vitamin A, which helps to reduce the risk of, or start to reduce the risk of age-related macular degeneration, leading cause of blindness in this country. People take a lot of zinc, which can also help with, the thought is it can help with macular degeneration prevention as well as immune system. And then melatonin, which is actually a hormone, so not quite in this same category. So we're going to take a quick break, come back on the other side and start to wrap up and tee up for next week's show, which will be vitamins and minerals from A to Z part 2. See you on the other side of the commercial.
Calling all business owners, all independent artists, and all nonprofit organizations. If you are in need of radio advertising, we encourage you to call 877-342-7770. That's 877-342-7770. Through their Community Give Back Project, there is an entrepreneur foundation that is paying for free radio advertising. That's right, I said free, F-R-E-E, in support of our small business owners, independent artists, and nonprofit organizations. Please call 877-342-7770 in order to receive your free radio advertising today.
All right. So welcome back to Fix Your Plate with Dr. Monique. And if you're just joining us, this week we are talking about vitamins and minerals from A to Z. So we're gonna wrap up today's episode with some complications or some possible interactions or health risk associated with taking these vitamins or supplements, and particularly in higher doses. What we typically see is when people take high doses, and this is something that patients do that I will admit drives me a little batty. And that is, I mean, I feel like a share, right? We're family here. I can share. Patients will, if you tell them to take one pill every 8 hours, or, twice a day or whatever, they'll say, oh, I'll take two. If one works, two is even better. And that is probably one of the more dangerous things you can do, right? Certain medications, but in general, or specifically, but the same thing applies with vitamins and minerals. People think, oh, it's good for me, I'll take 3 times the amount. And so I'm going to run through a list here of known complications from kind of mega doses or excessive doses of these. So if you hear yourself in this, please, 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 I would ask that you make some changes. And just if you're taking these medications, or these supplements rather, please just follow the bottle directions. But high doses of beta carotene, so extra vitamin A, can actually increase the risk of lung cancer in smokers. Isn't that just crazy, right? Like, you would think, wait, this is a vitamin meant to, what do we say vitamin A does? Vitamin A helps to, help with cell and tissue growth. Well, why would taking extra doses increase my risk for lung cancer if I'm a smoker? So, opposite effect of what you would expect. Extra calcium and vitamin D can actually increase the risk of kidney stones. High doses of vitamin E can actually lead to the type of stroke that you have where there's a bleed in your brain. The more common cause of stroke is caused by blockages in the artery, and blood flow is cut off to the brain. But there's a group of strokes caused by bleeding in the brain, and high doses of vitamin E have been linked to that. Vitamin K can interfere with the effect of blood thinners. So we talked about that earlier, right? If you're on a prescription to help thin your blood, you want to make sure your vitamin K intake is, like dark leafy green intake, is going to be pretty consistent, so that the effect of that medication is not diminished. And then high levels of vitamin B6 have been linked to nerve damage. And this is where people were taking vitamin B6 for like at least a year. Fortunately for that example, when they stopped taking the high doses, their nerve function went back to normal. So that's good. So I hope you enjoyed this. So this is just part one. Next week, we're going to kind of peel back the onion layers a little bit more, specifically talking about certain supplements and if they're harmful, if they're a waste of your money, etc. In the meantime, right, I'd love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. We are currently giving away a free autographed book, a free autographed copy of Doc Fix My Plate, the Physician in the Kitchen's prescriptions for your healthy meal makeover. If you submit a question that we read and answer online on the air, you will get a free copy of my Amazon bestseller, $29 value. So we'd love to hear from you. Please DM us at Physician in the Kitchen on Instagram, or you can email us at info@drmoniquemay.com. As always, I have enjoyed being here with you. I hope you all have learned something. I know I have. Every time I research for this show, I learn something, and I'm so excited to be able to share that information and knowledge with you guys. If you're listening, if you are enjoying what you're hearing, please drop us a line. Let us know. Tell your friends, hey, check this lady out. Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern. And in the meantime, as always, I encourage you to invest in your health, one plate at a time. Eat the rainbow. Eat the best food available to you, the most nutritious food available to you. And until then, I'll see you in the kitchen or on the air. This is Dr. Monique, and thank you for listening to Doc Fix My Plate. Thank you for listening to Fix Your Plate with Dr. Monique.